Hi everyone, this is Yumi from NateMD. We'll be starting our new MedTech series where we'll go over a number of apps and tools that'll make your studying more efficient and allow you to even go paperless.
If you're looking to go paperless or lighten your load, Notability gives you the option to hold all of your supplies in one place. You can hold your graph paper, your line paper, your printer paper. You have your pens and pencils, your highlighters, and you have your erasers and cut and paste. Once you've created your notes, you can organize them in a number of different ways. So first you can go into your dividers. So here I have college, and you can subdivide that into your different courses like biology, chemistry, whatever you like. Notability also allows you to search your notes by keyword. So here if we search lung, you'll see a number of notes come up. And once you click inside that note, you'll be able to find your keywords highlighted on the page. The search function only works for words that are typed though, so if you're handwriting your notes out with the pencil function, it won't be able to search that. Lastly, on the organizational front, Notability allows you to back up all your notes to the cloud. So for me, I back up all of my notes to Google Drive. It always keeps it back up on your computer in case you don't have your iPad with you. Notability makes it easy to take notes by hand by adding in a few cool features like the palm rest and what I call the zoom window. First of all, your palm rest allows you to sit your hand on top and it won't make any marks on the page. This makes it a lot more comfortable to write your notes rather than having your hand hanging in the air while you're trying to write. So it's a little more natural, like writing inside your notebook. The zoom window allows you to go to a particular location on the page. So when you start to write, you see I can write really large while it's popping up in the actual view on the note. And then once you reach this green portion, Notability will jump over to the next section so you don't have to actually move the zoom window on your own. The only flaw I see in this is that it doesn't really work fast enough while I'm vigorously taking notes in class, so I don't usually use this option, but it's nice if you're, I guess, taking notes a little more slowly. It'd be nice if the app actually moved with you as you wrote, but unfortunately that's not the case right now. You can also move the green hopper so that it'll jump sooner or later. So what I love most about Notability is the ability to create really beautiful figures very easily. For example, let's do a graph. And here you can create different colored lines that stand for different variables or whatever you're doing. And then what's really awesome is the cut and paste option. So let's say you're doing a mechanism in organic chemistry. We'll do the acylation mechanism. Don't be scared if you don't know about this yet. So in this mechanism, our acyl group is added to the benzene ring. So instead of having to draw the benzene ring all over again, we can take this scissor option, copy our benzene, paste it in the right location, and then add the additional unit and save that much more time. Notability also has the option to create formal figures. So if you go into the add option and you hit figure, it'll actually open up like this mini application inside of Notability. So here, if you draw lines, like say I draw this kind of wavy line, it'll actually straighten a little. I'm not sure if you saw that. Basically, it allows you to draw your figures really large in this white space versus doing it directly onto your notes. So if we do another graph like this, let's say we add a shape, like a square, and that can be our little key. Whoops. Go back to the line. And when you hit done, they actually put your figure in with some wrapping. And you can increase or decrease the size. You can do that also with the cut and paste option. But let's say you were typing something. You'll see that the words actually skip past the figure. So it's like when you put a figure into Microsoft Word, your figures will be wrapped around the text. So that's nice if you don't want to be typing over your figures. The only issue with the figure option is that unfortunately you can't actually erase anything, or at least I haven't been able to find the eraser function. So you have options like the moving option. This is for just freehand drawing. This is a line. Squares, circles, you get it. But I can't find anything for the erase option, and that's definitely a needed tool for creating figures. So until Notability is able to incorporate that, this little figure application isn't really that useful. Another cool option that I haven't gotten to use too much is the option to sync your lecture recordings with your notes. So you can see this little microphone button here. So here's an example of how you can use the lecture recordings and sync them with your notes. So if we hit the microphone button, it starts recording, and we can go, the sky is really, I spelled that wrong, blue. So when you hit the recording button again, it stops, and then when you go down and you hit play, it starts recording, and we can go, the sky is really, I spelled that wrong, blue most days. So you can see it's syncing with my voice. And in lectures, you can sync your notes with your professors so you know where you're at, or if you missed any of the notes from lecture. The only flaw, as you might have heard, you can hear the tapping on the iPad when you write, and it's even worse when you type actually. But if you can get over that, then it's a very useful tool.
What really convinced me about Notability was its affordability. It was only $2.99, which is like a cup of coffee from your local Starbucks. I don't actually drink coffee, so I don't know those terrible expenses, but I can imagine that $2.99 is pretty cheap compared to your everyday living. And when you think about like how much you spend on pens and pencils and binders, I remember I used to buy G2s all the time, and that would cost me like hundreds of dollars a year. Like that's insane when you can just buy this one application that has your pens, your highlighters, your graph paper, your line paper, everything you could possibly need all in one place for $3, and you never have to pay for that again. One-time payment, that's incredible. So lastly, I just want to talk about how I personally have been using the Notability app for the last few months. So as an undergraduate still, I really love using Notability in my analytical chemistry class, where we're actually doing a lot of calculations and derivations and drawing a ton of figures. And so I'll show you an example. This is one where we were doing a little lecture on batteries and electrodes, if you guys remember that stuff, and let's see how this works. So here, let it set in. So you can see that like I will use the highlighters and the pens and lots of arrows in order to highlight like different sections and meanings of things, and it actually makes it a lot easier to view. And then you'll see why I use Notability a lot and why I write by hand is because I just use a lot of equations and we do a lot of derivations. So I end up not typing really at all. So of course when I do this, I actually use a stylus, which we'll go into next week. In other courses, like my biology courses where there's not a lot of equations, I'll usually just type up most of my notes. That works well also with the Notability app. And if I ever need to insert a picture, or if I do need to draw a figure, because you know, biology has a lot of drawings and pictures of things, then it's really easy to insert that. Also, I find myself reading lots of articles for my classes nowadays, especially since I'm in the upperclassmen stage. So it's really easy to open up an article in my Notability app, and then what I can do is I can insert my notes, as I said earlier, into the article. So I'll actually have the article, and then on top I'll insert a page where I can write some notes that don't have to go directly in the article in case some of the articles are really squished with text and figures, as I'm sure some of you know, super dense stuff. So it makes it really easy to keep all my notes in one place, even though I'm reading an article and taking notes for class at the same time. So far I've really been loving using Notability. It's definitely my favorite app by far. The best part is that I don't have to carry my humongous binder anymore, and it's really sad because like the 3 previous years that I've been in undergrad, I've just been like stretching out and breaking every single binder I buy, and so every year I'm like renewing my binders, but now I don't even have to carry any at all. I don't even need to bring my backpack. It's actually really amazing. I just have to get my purse, and then I just walk away with my iPad, and I'm sure for guys you don't need to bring your purses around. You can just carry the iPad and go. That's literally all you need, except for those lab classes where you still need those composition notebooks. But besides that, that's still pretty light, so it's a good deal. Let me know if you have any questions and leave any comments on the blog. I'll be happy to get back to you. All right, bye everyone.